This week's guidance from the Ascended Masters, Archangels, Star Nations families, Earth elements, Fey elders, angelic legions, and other light beings known as the Collective today, from Lady Master Joan of Arc. COR, hello, friends. A friend of mine suggested the other day that I channel a message from Joan of Arc. So today we'll be speaking with the Ascended Master, who is Lady Master Joan of Arc. My question to her is, there are many shifts and changes occurring on the earth now, including this terrible war being waged against unarmed civilians in Palestine. I know that in times of terrible loss, when thousands are dying at once, it can be because there is a soul group that has volunteered to come to the earth to experience traumatic events that affect large populations, the events of September 2001 being one example. Those who left us at that time were in a special soul group who consciously took on that role before incarnating. And from what I understand, this kind of powerful and dramatic event creates shifts that would not have happened otherwise, huge shifts in consciousness, and in individual and group awareness. And it can encourage us to question the separatism that pits one culture against another. You led the French army to many victories, Lady Master. You encouraged a king to take his throne, despite Paris being occupied at the time. You led the French army in retaking their land from invaders, even in Paris. And so, how do you see this current conflict, Lady Master, the higher reason behind it? How does a young woman from a farmer's family, still in her teens, project her light so powerfully as to change the world? How do we do that? So I'll bring her in now, one moment. Lady Master Joan of Arc, greetings, fellow followers of the path of light. Your friend asks, in essence, why so many must die at once? With special concern for women and their children, and whole families and communities being killed or removed. Though my history in the earth life you refer to, sister, was one of battle and the growth of nationalism for one culture, my path is far greater and goes far deeper now than any victory won in conflict. Truly, there's no victory in conflict. Humanity is only beginning to realize that now, as they see the sheer numbers of children's bodies in white bags. These ones being called victims are very great souls, full of light, who came not to live what the human terms a long life, but to establish not only the need but the requirement for peace on your planet. Many of you are souls birthed in connection with another galaxy or universe that does not engage in conflict, and so you see the violence of Earth life and you find it incomprehensible. Your Earth presence, however quiet and unperturbed a life you may have lived till now, is also a powerful signpost on the path to ascension and a peaceful life on Lady Gaia. Yet there will be no peace until the majority hold in their energies not only the desire, but the requirement for peace. You see many taking a stand now in their cities, holding signs and chanting that a ceasefire must occur. And though you have seen others demonstrate in like ways over the years, we can tell you, there is a great difference now. For one, these are often Jewish folk themselves standing powerfully in favor of cessation of all hostilities. That is something the prevailing power structure, though it is now in tatters, was not expecting, not of the magnitude that it has occurred around the world, including in Israel itself. For another, these are persons of all ages, backgrounds, religions, ethnicities. And why have these ones chosen to ignore the usual cultural barriers and categories at this time? These dear ones came in for those actions, as assuredly as those dying or being injured or displaced chose that path before incarnating. Not out of preference, once in a human body, but out of the soul's own desire to know strength from what has been termed sacrifice. Yet this great gift to humankind is far greater than the term sacrifice entails. You have heard of Yeshua's sacrifice upon the cross, and that image was a powerful one for me in the earth life you describe. Yet this was not the essence of the visions I received while in that earth body. He and those of his realms such as Saint Michael did not speak to me in ways that glorified sacrifice of the body or of stability of daily life. He did not and does not. He is here with me now, as I speak, stress that death is the crux of the matter when soul growth is the thing that is sought after. In order for the vibrational environment of Earth to move to a far higher level, humanity as a whole must grasp that all of life is a great and sacred whole. and wholeness, the oneness of all life, and a splintered and fractured human consciousness. These are being called to finally meet, and to reconcile. This is something that almost none of your purported leaders will assist you in. They endeavor to keep you from it. And so, you must claim it for yourselves. You must declare that every child's life is as precious and invaluable as every other child's life. You must decide to move above what has been called politics and the machinations of perpetual war. Move above the dire predictions and the tragic reports of loss and destruction. It is time to end all judgments, all separations, and to move into your heart space where you have planted a higher love, a steady and unyielding peace. That is the journey now, dear ones. We do not call it the battle. That metaphor, though once required by humanity as a motivation to move forward on its path, no longer suits your path, or your predicament. And we speak of predicament in the sense that your human hearts, weary with shock and overtired from carrying the grief of many thousands, will not immediately understand how to move into a place of inner peace, a refusal to despair. Some days, the mind may ask if you are entirely disconnected from what is called reality. In truth, what you see around you is only a facsimile of a reality, a projected image of temporal experience, and nothing more. All of you have lived many lives in the old frequencies of struggle and hate. And now, as you absorb and attune your inner selves to this higher light, do you suppose you can remain in the old vibrations? Any more than I could lie to those who interrogated me, and threatened me with execution? No, you will not remain in the old frequencies, friends. You will, and you are moving forward. You are grasping the power of love that does not judge, does not condemn, does not bend under the pressure of terrible images and reports of lives lost or in peril. You may ask, those of you whose countries, and there is more than one, supply and enrich the countries attacking the unarmed, how we can bear the shame of this? And to that all of us in the higher realms would reply, release the shame. This is none of your doing. Move into that place where you do not take responsibility for another's path. Move into that place where you respect the path of growth toward enlightenment, including the paths you might never take on for yourself, nor wish on another. Yet you know that as all roads lead into greater light, even these ones who now die or despair, or who exercise a false power to kill or displace others, even these ones will come to know the wholeness and healing their spirits now lack. And the oneness humanity is now standing up to claim for itself. Of course, many days, these words will not cure your sadness or feelings of helplessness, yet we would say, even as you have been trained to despair and feel helpless at the sight of others suffering, engage the power of the transmuting violet flame, yes. Call in the power of the Great Mother to end all war, all losses, all prejudices held by one against another. Not purely by outer action comes her great intervention, but by a rebirth of consciousness within many millions of people. Hold fast to your respect for that which other souls have chosen, and release them into that great light from which all have come, and to which all shall return. Yes, you have this power. And it carries you now to that new earth you have so desired to experience. You did not know it would be of your own making. And yet, how else would it be made, friends? And so we go forward, and this time, the standard we fly above us is that not of one nation, but of earth and her people, all of them, and of a universe in which all are loved. And this beautiful truth, none can avoid. Namaste, dear ones. We are beside you, every moment.